I don't think he saw that. I don't think what he saw he valued.
But you're saying you're loyal, and that's something that he really values right now.
But it's not good enough. You know, he would ask me to do things and ask me to be a certain way, or ask me to fix a situation, or ask me to share some information with him, or whatever. All these things to be able to fix our relationship.
Wait, what? I was rewatching the one-on-ones, and season 18, episode 16 really caught my attention. What exactly was Kody trying to get out of Meri? When? For what reason? The whole exchange had a weird energy. Anyone have thoughts? Honestly, I feel so bad for the OG3. They were absolutely run through the toxic/narcissistic ringer thanks to the addition of the other two. It's such a relief to see them stepping away from that mess and finally feeling safe enough to talk about how twisted things really were. The more distance they get from that whole Plague Life sham, the more I think we'll hear, and it won't be pretty. That scene in particular really highlights how manipulative and emotionally abusive Kody was toward Meri. He constantly pulled the "if you just do X, we'll fix things," but then, surprise, he'd move the goalpost. Again, the truth? The goal was never meant to be reachable. Only Kody knew that. The X didn't matter because Meri was never meant to win his favor. It was the same pattern with Christine. If you fix your bad behavior, just like that trip, remember? The one where Kody brought that jerk friend Christine couldn't stand. Classic setup, and what was he really after with Meri in that episode? Probably the same thing he always wanted: information. We've heard it before, how he gossiped about one wife to another constantly. Janelle's even commented on how much Kody talked to her about the other wives. That group exercise in Sedona said it all. Rather than place himself at the center, equidistant to all his wives, he literally tried to position himself closer to some than others. Subtle, right? That's how favoritism festers. So yeah, I think he was trying to squeeze Meri for info, especially anything Christine or the kids might have told her in confidence. Janelle, I don't think, ever really confided in Meri, but Christine definitely did. Kody's even said someone had been telling him Christine was planning to leave for years. My bet? That someone was Meri, maybe Mykelti too. It's actually heartbreaking, because this is probably a big part of why Christine and Janelle want nothing to do with Meri now. She was Kody's willing flying monkey for years, his fixer, his informant. She is a victim too, no doubt, but that doesn't mean the others have to forgive her or invite her back in. Some betrayals just cut too deep. We've got so much to dive into today, so let's not waste any time. Let's jump straight into it. Hey everyone, what's up? It's Elena here, and welcome back to my channel Reality Nexus X. Christine's pregnancy timing is almost as coincidental as Robyn's dramatic entrance into the family. Robyn, in her always sarcastic glory, claimed they courted for 10 months. But we all know the reality. Truly was just born when Kody and Robyn got married, but somehow Truly didn't need him, even at her tender age. Kody was okay with an 11-day honeymoon with Robyn. So romantic, right? But then, miraculously, he's got to be at Robyn's every 3 days for her kids. It's like the original kids barely exist in his life now, unless they somehow honor Robyn. These two really do deserve whatever's coming their way. Karma's got a way of catching up after all. Speaking of karmic moments, I just watched one of my favorite episodes, where Kody throws a tantrum about not having a head wife during the whole COVID chaos. And Robyn, naturally, couldn't bear the thought of being away from her precious tenders for 2 weeks. I always wish Janelle or Christine would have fired back with, "Well, you think my kids can go without their father for that long? Why's that okay for them? I mean, it could have been legendary. And don't get me started on the hypocrisy of it all. Why was it totally fine for Truly, a literal newborn, to be away from Kody for his 11-day honeymoon with Robyn, but Kody can't handle being away from Solomon and Aerie for 2 days? The double standards are infuriating. From day one, Kody and Robyn have built their marriage on a foundation of rules for thee, but not for me. Their endless excuses and justifications just never hold up. Oh, and I'm pretty sure Kody pressured Christine into getting pregnant. After all, she'd already had some tough pregnancies and wasn't exactly enthusiastic about having more kids. But did Kody care about her feelings? Apparently not. And his whole concern for his tender age children, where was he for truly? She deserved so much better than that. I still can't wrap my head around why the wives didn't just call Kody and Robyn out when they were all together for those meetings. I mean, if he can't be away from Robyn's kids for a few days, why was it okay for him to abandon his other kids, Truly and Savannah, without any guilt? It's always been about his relationship status guiding his involvement with the children. Even when the issue was COVID, why couldn't they just meet 6 feet apart and spend time with their other kids? It's just so frustrating. Mary, if you're reading this, please, for the love of everything, leave this man. You've got one child with him. That's it. You've got nothing to lose here and so much to gain. Honestly, you're not a horrible person because of the whole catfish situation. Someone gave you the attention you actually deserve. You deserve love and affection, and you shouldn't have to beg for it. Seriously, we're all rooting for you. You'd be stunned at how quickly you could find a man who actually loves you, listens to you, and values you. Stop wasting these precious years of your life waiting for Kody to magically love you again. Newsflash, you're too good for him, and you deserve way better than this. I watched the latest season all at once, and I have feelings. Like, how do we get TLC to do a spin-off with Mary running the B&B, Christine living her best life in Utah, and Janelle traveling? It would be everything. Then I saw that anniversary episode and cringe. I felt so bad for Mary. Sure, she's got that whole woe is me vibe, but honestly, no one deserves the emotional abuse Kody is putting her through. He's practically telling her to leave, without actually being the bad guy himself. Like, why is she so desperate to fix things? It's so clear, even though he won't admit it, that Kody doesn't want to fix this relationship. He wants her to leave if she's unhappy. Mary, please, just leave this selfish man. You're better off alone. Sure, you made a mistake, but hey, everyone does. Kody, on the other hand, is never going to forgive you. He's just using that mistake as an excuse to treat you like garbage. I only started watching the season properly. Before I was catching bits and pieces here and there, but seeing the change in Mary from season 1/2 to now, it's jarring. She's someone who clearly craves love and affection, and now it's totally absent from her life. I just want her to realize that she deserves to be happy. What do people want now? For years, everyone threw a tantrum over Mary not leaving Kody, calling her every name in the book like it was their business. Newsflash, it wasn't, because her life, her choice. Then, finally, she breaks free from the Kody circus, finds someone new, and boom, here come the same people, digging through the mud like detectives, trying to find dirt on her new guy. Seriously, can we not? Let them be happy for once. I mean, we got what we begged for, right? Mary leaves Kody. Everyone's thrilled. So isn't that supposed to be the happy ending? No, of course not. It's never that simple, is it? The complaints are now about how they're not living up to some fantasy we've all imagined for them. Honestly, this sub sometimes feels more like a pack of hyenas waiting to tear something apart than a place for support. And can we please stop with the Mary wedding obsession? Let the woman take a breather. Marriage isn't some ultimate prize at the end of the dating race. She doesn't need to prove anything to anyone by walking down an aisle. Maybe she's actually enjoying her life and figuring out who she is, rather than jumping into the next, look, I'm desirable circus. Also, why is it a crime for Mary to date and move on? Why do we need to attach some huge expectation to her relationships? As for Janelle, she doesn't need a guy to be valid. She's amazing just as she is. Can't we let her be happy without throwing her into the is she over Kody narrative? Maybe she's fine, healthy even, without a man to validate her. Shocking, I know. I honestly feel bad for Amos. He and Mary are just dating. No engagement, no wedding bells. And yet, because of that, the internet feels entitled to treat him like public property. Why does his whole life history need to be splattered all over the place? He didn't sign up for this mess. He agreed to a post saying, "Hey, Mary's seeing someone," and now, suddenly, we're all digging through his past like it's some kind of expose. That's just not cool. He didn't ask for any of this, and it's gross how people think they have the right to tear him apart because he's spending time with Mary. Honestly, it's a sad reflection on all of us. We spent years begging for Mary to find happiness away from Kody, and now that she has, people can't just let it be. We're behaving like paparazzi, and that's not what this was supposed to be about. Kody is completely out of touch with his kids. Between the cringe-worthy midlife crisis perm he's rocking and the disgusting comments he made to the Darkers about wanting another child, it's hard to even stomach. Let's be honest, it's not about wanting to expand his family out of love or genuine care. No, he just wants a kid as some sort of bizarre confirmation that he's not getting old. I mean, I've never seen him show any real affection or care for any of his children. When they walk through the house, he doesn't even acknowledge them. In one episode, he asked his oldest daughter, Mariah, what was so special about August 29th, the date she chose for her wedding, and when she told him it was her birthday, he just went, "Oh, like how disconnected can one person be?" The guy has nothing to offer, no money, no love, no real sense of anything. He's just a walking ego trip. And don't even get me started on that time he tried to teach Truly to ride a bike. He was awful with her. It was like he was more interested in showing off, "Hey, look, I've still got cool hair and my manhood's still intact." Meanwhile, his daughter was struggling and clearly needed some real support. I would have loved to be a fly on the wall when the Browns left the Dodgers' house. That must have been a scene. Oh, Kody, where do we even start? Just watched last night's episode and wow, the man just can't even handle a little flirting from Mary. He says, "You don't flirt with me." Then Mary flirts and he goes, "Yeah, we're not in a place where you can flirt with me." Oh, Kody, such a gem. He's the definition of a jerk. He says, "I'm not cruel," right after telling his wife she's unlovable and needs to do all these things to win him back. Except he doesn't actually want her to do those things because, they're not in a place for that. It's honestly like watching a car crash in slow motion. It's painful. I'm really struggling here because my heart hurts watching him tear her down. It's so obvious he doesn't want any part of her life. I'm clinging to the tiny hope that since the episodes are a year behind, maybe, just maybe, Mary has already walked away by now. Because if she hasn't, what's she still doing there? Sure, she's got her faults, but he lays it all on her. It's like he's the world's most arrogant martyr. Oh, and then there's that whole "you and I don't appear to want to be together" line. Kody, sweetheart, it's not her. It's you. She's tried, but it's clear you've already checked out. She's still showing up. You're the one who's checked out, and you're doing everything you can to make her feel invisible. And then, the icing on the cake. That creepy happy anniversary, Mary, he says, twice. Like, what's his deal? It's so forced, like he wants that kiss she's offering, but won't admit it. And let's not even talk about that evil smirk when she asked if kissing her would be disgusting. His silence was louder than any words he could have said. That man's a master manipulator. What really gets under my skin is his constant, "Due to my faith, I can't be the one to leave, but they're welcome to leave at any time." Wow, so compassionate, right? No. If he had any ounce of empathy, he'd just be honest with her and cut ties, instead of dangling that little hope carrot in front of her. It's so manipulative, it makes my stomach turn. It's time for Mary to realize she's lovable and stop letting this self-important creep make her feel otherwise. It's like she's begging for validation from someone who'll never give it to her. Enough is enough. Oh, here we go again with my Kelty. the self-proclaimed expert on everything she really knows nothing about. Let's start with the latest hot take. Apparently, Mykelti's been spreading the alleged word that Janelle's ex-husband was abusive, and this juicy little tidbit supposedly came from her Patreon. Now, call me crazy, but when exactly did Mykelti become a reliable source for anything? Because last I checked, she wasn't even around when Janelle was married to this guy. In fact, Janelle and her ex split up before Mykelti was even born. So, maybe take her insights with a huge grain of salt. Let's break this down. Mykelti claims David Jessup, Janelle's ex, was an abusive husband and a terrible father. Oh, and she said this with all the confidence in the world, like she had any clue what she was talking about. When asked if she knew he was dying from leukemia, her entire face dropped and she admitted she didn't know. In fact, she didn't even know if his kids knew. And where did she get this oh-so-reliable info? From Robyn, of course. The same Robyn who's been caught lying about Jessup more times than we can count. But Mykelti? She just gobbled it up and ran with it, smearing a dying man's name based on nothing but Robyn's word. And she did it with a big, goofy grin on her face, like she's some sort of truth teller. Classic. Now, fast forward to the latest drama. Mykelti's allegedly spreading the news that Janelle's ex was abusive, despite the fact that Janelle has never said anything like that. The only thing Janelle's ever said is that her marriage to him didn't work because they weren't a religious match, and that led to their divorce. But nope, Mykelti's got a better version of the story, apparently, and she's out here telling it like it's fact. And even if this were true, which we don't know because Janelle hasn't said it, who the heck does Mykelti think she is? It's one thing to spill the tea when the person involved has already spoken up, but it's a whole different ballgame to air someone else's laundry, especially when the person hasn't even confirmed it herself. This isn't her story to tell. Janelle's never been one to talk about her ex, and frankly, she's avoided it like the plague. So why is Mykelti over here, acting like she's got the inside scoop? If Janelle didn't want people to know this, then maybe it's because it's her business, not Mykelti's. But no, Mykelti's chasing views and cash by airing someone else's dirty laundry for a nice little pat on the back from her followers. How convenient. Meanwhile, Robyn has spilled her guts about how miserable she was married to Jessup, but Janelle? Yeah, she doesn't talk about him, and that's probably for a good reason. The problem here is that no one really knows if Mykelti even said this in the first place, or what context it was in. I've heard a lot of stuff get twisted from Patreon content, and honestly, it's hard to trust anything unless you see it yourself. People like to hear what they want to hear and turn it into a fact. And then, of course, there are people out here trashing Mykelti without knowing anything about what she actually said, kinda like the person accusing her. But okay, and let's be real, why don't they talk about Janelle's ex on the show? Because it's super weird. Janelle was married to Mary's brother, and her mom was married to Kody's dad. It makes their whole polygamous setup sound like a freaking family reunion gone wrong. Talking about that would seriously undermine the we're just like regular families image they're trying to sell to America. If I were in Janelle's shoes, married to an abusive guy, I can tell you right now, the last person I'd be remarried to is his sister's husband. Watching the COVID episodes, and let me get this straight, none of them can wrap their heads around the fact that Kody going house to house is basically the same thing as all of them getting together in one place. But no worries, in Kody's world, as long as he changes his clothes after each visit, everything's totally fine. I had the same thought when he gave Truly that awkward hug during the goodbye scene, and then held back Ariella saying, "Only me," before turning right back around to go to Robyn and her kids. Makes zero sense. Zero. Honestly, if he were going to follow any kind of logical reasoning, wouldn't it have been better for Kody to say, "Hey, I can't bounce around between houses unless I quarantine in between"? But then, of course, there was the nanny, an outsider, coming in and out of their house regularly. So that worked out well. And naturally, they all ended up with COVID anyway. Shocking, right? Not really. Let's be real. This was just Kody's excuse to not have to deal with his OG wives and kids anymore, so he could hole up with his new family. Basically, didn't he just stop visiting the other houses entirely? Quarantining himself with Robyn and her brood, except for that little inconvenience called the babysitter, and the kids going to school, because that's how they all caught it. The daughter brought it home from school. His actions? Yeah, they practically dismantled his polygamist family. And honestly, Kody can come up with some bizarre oral hormone exchange theory, but can't apply the same logic to respiratory droplets. That's unfortunate. People like him are exactly why I insisted on masking up at all times, even around anyone I didn't have under my watch 24/7, until a vaccine was out and proven effective. No big deal, right? But clearly, Kody's idea of following CDC guidelines to a T is a little different from mine. Unsurprisingly, he dropped the ball on multiple fronts, his own rules, let alone the CDC's. So, what happened to Friday night dinners? Wrong answers only. Let me start. Robyn was too busy saving other people's grocery money to bother with the meal prep. Classic. The wives each took turns cooking, and this week it was Robyn's turn. But Kody, in all his wisdom, only bought 6 chicken breasts. That was pretty much the end of that. They all ended up eating cereal instead because, obviously, cereal is totally a meal, not just a snack. And let's not forget the one thing the nanny would never do, cook. But hey, maybe that's a valid explanation too. What if the nanny had been cooking this whole time? We all know Robyn doesn't exactly have a passion for cooking, so it's not out of the question. In fact, I'm leaning toward this being the real issue. Robyn, feeling awkward about never hosting, probably started to take it personally. She feels left out, gets all sensitive, and then pulls the "I'm not having anyone over" card. Perfect, exactly what I'd expect from her after that whole Christmas gift exchange meltdown. It gets better though. Her kids, they adore Robyn's fun, playful, and creative personality, which really shone through in her cooking. So much so, they started debating moving in with her and worshipping her like some sort of culinary goddess. Obviously, the OG3 had to shut that down, because losing their kids to Robyn's cereal-based meals would be a disaster. Oh, Kody really pulled a fast one on Christine with that Utah pitch, didn't he? I can't be the only one who thinks he set her up to get torn apart by the other wives. It was like he wanted to see her get eviscerated. Let's be real, her reasons for not wanting to stay in Flagstaff are 100% valid. They've already been through the whole moving thing a million times, and they're tired of it. But the wives? Completely delusional. It's obvious that Utah is the best place for everyone now that polygamy is decriminalized. The older kids and their families are there, for crying out loud. Christine should cut her losses and go back home to Utah, where she'd actually have a support system. Everyone knows Flagstaff is a joke. The older kids have zero emotional connection to that place. But Kody? Oh, he's sick. He's downright evil the way he treats every wife except Robyn. Seriously, when he married Robyn, it was like a light bulb went off in his head. Polygamy works only if I'm not emotionally invested in any of my wives. Which, let's face it, is probably why monogamy seems so much easier to him now that he has responsibilities. He dragged this entire family into the public eye, got them all riled up, and then checked out. He just doesn't care anymore, except when it comes to Robyn and her kids. Justice for Isabel, by the way. Poor kid. Just wait until she sees those interviews where Kody's laughing about how he completely set her up. So charming. Just to clarify, of the 7 adult kids who are in Flagstaff, 2 are in Nevada, Logan and Garrison. 3 are in Utah, Aspine, Mariah, and Mykelti. Hunter's off at Johns Hopkins in Massachusetts, and Maddie's in North Carolina. The 5 remaining adult children? They're in Flagstaff, living at home and attending school. The minor kids are a bit younger. 3 of them are graduating high school in the next year or so, and the last 3 are under 12. And of course, they all have to stay in Flagstaff because, Robyn's kid needs her so bad. Kody's completely under her thumb. It's pretty clear at this point. Robyn is calling the shots, and Kody is too busy obsessing over her and her kids to care about anyone else. Christine, seriously, run. You've been doing life alone this whole time. Take your daughter to her surgery and don't ever look back. Go back to Utah and never step foot in Flagstaff again. You deserve better than that circus. Let me know what you think in the comments. Don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe to my channel. I'll see you in the next video. Take care and much love to you all.